What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY Transformers review, we're going to take a look at the last of the Dinobots from the Power of the Prime Waves, and it is Dinobot Sludge. Now, Sludge was always one of my favorites, being that he's like a brontosaurus, and, well, we finally got him in a new modern form. But before we really look at the figure, which I've got some opinions about, let's take a look at the packaging. And up here, you get a decent bit of artwork with Sludge on it. And frankly, this doesn't look much like the toy at all, if I'm honest. You got the Generations logo there. You got Transformers logo there. You got the Dinobot mode right there, which, you know, it's a thing. You got the Wheel of the Primes in the background. You got Power of the Primes, Deluxe Class, Classe Deluxe, Classe de Lujo, and Classe Deluxo. And then Dinobot Sludge there, ages 8 plus. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. And if you come to the back, you get the standard read of how will... What? Okay, that scared me for a second. How will the Decepticon, stomping Dinobot, wield the Power of the Primes? That was confusing just for a second. You get all the robot mode stuff there and dino mode stuff. Changes in 20 steps. You've got the flak jackety thing. And you've got the footballs for the second wave, which once again, I haven't found or even seen in person. So that's it for the packaging. Now, before we actually look at him, there's one more thing in the package. You do get a character card. The instructions are here somewhere, but, you know, instructions are instructions, so they are what they are. And you've got that same box art that actually looks really good. If this looked like the box art, it would be phenomenal. This is incredibly G1 accurate. Not so much. Okay, so Dinobot Sludge, Power Primes. And you've got Quintus Sludge, because orange. Creates bots capable of fighting in any environment. So, yay for that. That fell on the floor. Alright, so you got Sludge here. Looking close to his kind of G1 counterpart. And he's got the weakest shoulders out of anybody. It's just like, Bleh. I've got no shoulders. Now, they did at least give us the wings, so to speak, that Sludge and even Slag are supposed to have. And this guy is actually a remold and retool of Slag, which we will notice when we get to that. I'll even show it off a little bit, how very similar they are. There's some panels that are exactly the same. Speaking of things that are exactly the same, you do get the exact same Prime armor here. I forgot what it was called, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not entirely certain that this is the one that came with him because I had them in a big pile. So it might not be his, but it doesn't matter. They're all identical with the Dinobots, with the exception of Snarl. You can put it on his chest just like that. You can totally put any of the footballs in the armor, and of course that is a dumb little weapon, more or less, that you can pull out of there. And also exactly the same as previous. You do get the gun that came with, actually, I believe it was Slag. So Slag came with the exact same gun that you can plug in any port, just like you can plug the Prime Armor in any port. So you get a very, it almost looks angry, but it's actually more, if you do it like that, there's a little shadow, it makes him look angry. But really, he's more depressed than anything, because Sludge is not happy about the way Hasbro made him this go-round. But you got yellow eyes on him, which makes no real sense. Silver painted face and crest. You got paint here on the chest and a tamper-graphed Autobot logo right there. Some silver paint right here for whatever reason. I guess they really want you to target that area. This part right here is actually painted on top of the red plastic. You've got some gold paint down here. On the legs, you got tamper-graphed little details, which I'm glad they finally started doing that. For the most part, I think they started it with the second wave. There's very few stickers on wave 1, with the exception of Grimlock. But you got the really overly done translucent bit here for the bottom legs. Got the silver paint and the gold paint done underneath. And you see a little bit more here. You've got the Brontosaurus head coming out the back. Now you can do this one of two ways. It's just your thing. So you can do it this way, which tucks it right up under there. Now he does have a cutout for it like that, so you know, that's probably official. And also, if you really want to, you can store weapons or the prime armor right in here, or even right here, although this hole has a different use later on. We've got black paint here on the silver wings. The only thing that bothers me is these wings should be like mounted up higher and then turn up a little bit. But yeah, he's got head rotation. Not really on a ball joint, feels more like it's on a just rotation joint. The shoulders are ball jointed like all these guys are, and I think he's just, they're just droopy. They're like, he doesn't have anything going on. Like, they should just come up a little bit of height there. Something. You got bicep rotation. You've got ratcheted elbows, which I didn't mention before. Most of these guys do have ratcheted elbows, so that's pretty good. They will wear down over time, but they are good. The wrist does flip down a little bit just with transformation. The waist rotates just for transformation. Ball joint mounted hips, they can only go to about there, but he can do splits this way fairly well. Thigh rotation lets you go all the way around, but like I always say, why would you? You've got knee bend that's not even quite 90 degrees. This is atrocious. I'm sorry. Even the G1 version cleaned up better than this. You could move the ankle. Like, this was actually mounted. You can move the ankle and tuck it away a little bit nicer than that. And you do get a little bit of heel spur both from the tail and from the little bit right here that is exactly the same as it is with Slag. And the way that this kind of curves up right there, you can tell he definitely does need that. Got the big, clunky feet like you get with Sludge. So, it is what it is. But let's go ahead and do some quick comparisons. So, we'll bring out the Wally. So, we got the Wally there. And we can bring out... Whoa, is that the camera? Bring out the DX9 version that I absolutely love. So... he's not too much bigger than the DX9. He's a deluxe, and he's barely bigger than a Legend scale. But this guy is definitely G1. This guy is trying to be G1. And this is what I talk about with the wings. You can at least move them up. Plus, they're a lot sharper. This is just crap. Not to mention, I didn't talk about it, the see-through aspect. I think it's crap. And we can bring in the rest of the Dinobots now that we have a complete set. Where we've got Snarl from last time. Bring in Big Boy Grimlock to go in the back. We've got Lord Swoopington over here. Lord Swoops. And Slug Not Slag. So there we go. I mean, I will say that at least they go together. They're not great. Some of them are better than others. Swoop is probably one of the best. Slag over there is actually a little bit better, and the others are just what they are. I still feel like Snarl is really where they just started wasting our time. Now, real quick, before we go too much further, I want to show off how... I just knocked that off, and that's not good. I want to show off the similarities between these two, since they are the same mold that's just modified. If you look at the legs, it is painfully obvious that the legs and the feet are exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the dino feet thrown on here. So even back here, of course, the tail is going to be a little bit different. The arms, I feel, are exactly the same, just painted differently. Yep. Now, the chest is a new mold, but I would almost bet that if you flip his chest around... No, okay. I was going to finish that sentence, but there's no way. But maybe, because it's half and half. So, the top half does transform differently than the rest, and that's the main real difference between these guys, but the appendages are all the same. The transformation sequence is almost identical, and part of me thinks that they really should have made him first, and then even copied the wings that he's supposed to have, because that is a definitive feature of Slag. And also, I was trying to figure out how to take this thing apart so that I could paint the head red and give him blue eyes. But, you know, I would only hope that we could get a Takara version or something along those lines that would actually make these guys look and transform better. But since we're talking about transformation, let's go ahead and go do that. Alright, time to transform this boy up. And in some ways, he's very similar to the way Slag was. So we're going to go ahead and tuck each hand away for the most part. These are all going to kind of stay how they are. Going to rotate the arms up to clear the belly. Technically the back, but you can totally leave him with a beer belly like this if you really want to. So, I mean, that's not a huge deal. Come to the head, flip this up, rotate the neck, open the flap, hide the head, tab that in, close that down. Rotate the legs, spin them around, rotate the leg, spin it around, come down to the robot legs. I'm going to turn the dino leg inward, so you see that flap. The heel spur goes away, like so. Rotate these out of the way, just like you do with Slag. And, oop, I'm upside down. Flip at the waist. Kind of tab these guys together about as best as you can. And then rotate the whole mess inward. And you've got slots and gaps and tabs there. And I have had issues with this guy so far, with it not wanting to stay together properly. So you see right there that already got pushed apart. And we're going to continue to have those problems, if I'm honest with you guys, which I always am. Tab that together, flip the tail up. Trying to remember which way I'm going here, because I'm thinking that part of the problem is that the flaps, those move, are something that's causing the issue, because this right here, so on Potato 2.0 here, it really doesn't stay together. So I don't know if it's a problem with these parts or something else causing it to split, or the fact that the tabs themselves just really suck that bad. Because you can squeeze it all you like, it's not going to stay together any better. Now you've got to really cram the feet down so he can stand. And there is your Sludge in dino mode. And yeah, the limitations of the back legs truly make it difficult, because you lose any given height that you might have had here. And once again, there that goes. You know what? I'm going to say it. This one is definitely worse than Snarl. Snarl was at the bottom for me. The problems this one has with gapping. And you can see down here things aren't lined up properly for whatever reason. They're twisted. Maybe that helped. Nope, it's just going to keep splitting. For whatever reason, it will not stay tabbed together. So I think because this one is just really reaching and they got lazy on a remold, it's just crap. I mean, you don't really get any head articulation, but if you break the mold entirely, you can get him to look down. The head technically can rotate, I guess. The mouth does actually open, so I'll give it a tiny bit of credit for that. You get the gold underpainting, just like all the things. You get Autobot logo tampoed on right there. The other one is still visible back there. You know, you still got all the same details otherwise, but these really poorly done back legs are just a single cast piece of translucent plastic. It's just garbage. I'm really over this line, guys. I really am. It really does make me sad, and you know why? Because for double the price, you get something this good. And, you know, this looks very much G1. I mean, yeah, he's very bulbous and fat, but hey, he's supposed to be a brontosaurus. It's better than this. This is kind of crappy. This at least has legs that are even the right shape. They didn't even give him toes. They just kind of very mockingly did that, and these back legs are just a joke. I'm sorry. Not to mention, I forgot to point this out, the absolute hollowness. Why? Why is that a giant empty gap? I don't get it. You know, this was $35. This is $17. This is literally half the price, and it's not even half the toy, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Hasbro need to do better. And I don't have the Planet X version to really show this guy up. But there's Wally, just looking disappointed. Yeah, that's just, yeah. So let's bring out all the other Dinobots since we're here. Here's Snarl. There's the Sludge. And you can see the back end is literally the exact same thing. At least this one, they gave him better back legs. It's a stretch, but they did. There's your leader, Grimlock. Well, technically Voyager, but I mean, you know what I mean. And there's your Swoop. So, that's the thing. There's all 5 Dinobots. Finally in one place at the same time. And no, I'm not really counting Slash, but it just depresses me, guys. It just does. So, let's move on. Alright guys, so for the final bit, let's go ahead and get this guy into his combined modes. And we're going to start off with making him into an arm, and then we'll go into a leg, because ultimately I want him to be a leg. So first and foremost, just go ahead and, oh yeah, for arm mode we want to go ahead and split the bottom. Kind of forgot about that. Make sure you, I almost always forget to do this part. Make sure you split the tail, and then rotate outward. Or else you ain't gonna go nowhere, or you're gonna break some of that not so great translucent plastics. And just flip this around to the inside, like so. Tab your tail back together. It only has the one tab. With the back legs, and this is true for either mode, you have the slot right there, just like you did on Slag, and just put these tiny little clear tabs in there, and there you go. There's your arm mode. Honestly, it's almost there. Let me rotate the camera upward. He got really tall there. Now with the neck, you want to go ahead and rotate the neck around like so. And this might be a preferential thing, so it might be just whatever it is you want to do. I didn't mean to pull that way, because if you pull it up, yay! So you got this little hump right here that goes into the hole on the bottom side, or the back side of the neck. It's not a secure fit or anything. That's just what it does. And you just come here and kick it up. Sorry, forgot what I was doing for a second. Alright, now for the arms, it's a little bit dumb. So this hole right here is where the arms will tab. See here on the back of the arm, there's an octagonal peg right there on the elbow. Now you can try like you want and try to cram it in there. That way, it ain't gonna go. But if you come all the way around, bend the leg backwards as far as it'll go, then it will tab in. I know, I feel like you rolled your eyes. I did too. Because now kind of looks like this. So that's that. Now if you want to do either way, I prefer it to where most of the dino body is facing outward, and since he would be a right arm, this is the way it would go. And yeah, this thing just does not tab together worth a damn. And it gives you one elbow joint instead of 2. Of course, you do it this way, you get all of that ugliness exposed, and you know, why would you? So, and then here, you can do the head that way, or since it's really not important, you could totally do it that way, or leave the head up if you want to kind of cover down on the joints, because he's going to be a shoulder, so kind of doesn't matter that much. It looks good, more or less, like this. Now let's go ahead and get him into leg mode, which is not a far cry from this at all. You just put that straight up. Once again, you can do this one, but now that it's going to be a leg, I'm going to rotate the head that way. Leave the front legs exactly where they are. You're going to want to go ahead and compact the back legs back to dino mode. So dino mode is basically where you're going to do all your work. Or leg mode. It is what it is. Got to move these out of the way just temporarily. Fold that up. Fold that out. Flip them inward. Try to keep everybody tabbed together. And like I said, the tabs that hold this guy together are not the greatest at all. And as previously discussed, he's probably the worst offender of these Dinobots. But actually, he makes a pretty good leg. Dino mode, not great. Robot mode, it's okay. Leg mode is probably the best mode. So push the feetsies back like that, and there's your leg mode. So let's go ahead and bring in Volcanicus, as we've seen him so far. Back the camera up just a little bit. And I still got Jazz on here because, well, he ain't going to stand with one leg. So you pull your Jazz off. You stick your Sludge on, which is not the easiest thing in the world. Got to make sure that thing gets in there. Make sure you grab the extra foot. Not extra, but you know what I mean. Tab that into the hole at the bottom. And go ahead and get your Volcanicus done. Like so. And probably have to raise the camera up just a little. And yeah, I could have probably saved it to an end and actually just done all the Dinobots combining totally at the end. But it is what it is. And now that he's done, he doesn't look that bad. He's very gangly, just as he always was. But now having the color-coded stuff all together, or having everything totally matched up, looks pretty good. And you can finagle it however you want. You want Swoop's wings out, you want his head down, you want a lot of other things. I can't help that he leans backwards a little bit, and yeah, the flatness on the backside is extreme. So that's a thing. Now I do want to get one or two of the upgrade sets for this guy. Perfect Effect has one in their Perfect Combiner line, which does look really good, but is kind of pricey. And then there's another one that, off the top of my head, I really can't remember what it's called, but it looks really awesome as well. So one of those two I'll probably get, maybe both, just to see what's up. But this guy does need help. Like a lot of the combiners, he definitely needs help. Heck, his arms aren't even the same length in this mode. And I did these guys as legs because they're the same mold, which means from the halfway point down, they're the exact same thing. So, the only thing I'm lacking, and I gotta figure out where it went, the Dinobot Enigma that goes inside Grimlock's mouth. And, you know, it's a big shame, honestly, that this didn't come with a big old weapon. How could he not? And actually, I'm sorry, I did not complete him totally, because I forgot you have your extra hands for a reason. And I did this in other form. And it sounds like the neighbors let their dog out again. And you want to come up here, plug that into the side of the body, as it were. Oh, no, actually. I don't know what was happening there. Just not good. Okay, so I forgot these guys. Oh, actually, this one's from Jazz. My bad. You don't want to use the one from Jazz on this. You can, you just don't really want to. Use all the Dinobot parts. Use every part of the Dinobot. There we go. So there we go. That actually does bulk out his main body, but still leaves it kind of strange and gappy. And the legs don't know what they're doing. They really don't. Like, I'm trying to line the legs up with the torso, and they're still twisted somehow. So, just be aware that Volcanicus is not the greatest thing ever. As if you didn't need to be told that. It's mildly posable, but odds are he's gonna fall. But actually, you know, it doesn't look too bad. Just needs something going on right in here. But guys, that's going to be it for this review and the end of at least these combiners from Power of the Prime. Power of the Primes. Guys, if you like these videos, you like this series, give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Or if for some reason you've been watching my videos and aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And of course, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. But if you want to help, support the channel a little bit more, you can check out the Patreon right here. Become a Patroneer today, just like John, Andy, Steve, and Kolby are. You can help dictate what I do on the channel a little bit, and of course, just help me keep this channel rolling forward. And if you want to actually get some stuff for your dollar, totally buy a t-shirt right here. And of course now between the end of May, which may or may not be right now, all proceeds go toward the Lupus for Lupus charity, which will be up here if you want to buy merch, or for some reason you need last minute help with the contest if you're going to join. But I will catch you guys on the next Transformers review, guys. And remember, as always, them Grimlock King. Or something. I don't know. Bye, guys.